This video isn't brought to you by the letter F. Why? Because fuck you, that's why. Hey guys, Quantum Light here. You know what? Let me just move this over to this way over here. That way we can, yeah, there we go. Much better. Anyways, what's up guys? Quantum Light here, ready to give you guys a deck profile of my little brother's Darkness Neosphere Fiend deck. Well, it was originally called the Dark Fiend deck. I think that's what it was called. Don't really remember. Like we did a deck draft of this a couple months back. And seeing something, it is, out of all the deck drafts I uploaded, it's pretty much the most popular one. So he wanted to give you guys a little bit of a deck profile over here. Unfortunately, because he is a little bit camera shy though, he wanted me to do it instead, as always, like we did with the deck draft. And so without further ado, let's begin. So just like last time, we're going to be starting off with 2 Darkness Neospheres. This is the big boss monster of the deck. And with 4,000 attack, 4,000 defense, relatively easy to bring out, although it is pretty situational, and if you don't have the right requirements, given the fact that you do not have to tribute summon this monster, given the fact that you're not supposed to in the first place, it can be pretty cloggy at times. If you know, with the fact that if you don't have any fiends in your hand to spare and or on the field to spare, then this guy's going to stay in your hand. So it's pretty good knowing that this deck, you know, after all the work and modifications I've done with it, it does get it has a better hand advantage as well as a better field advantage by comparison as it did in the past. And we're also focusing a lot more on the monarch strategy right here, which is why we're still running 2 Caius the Shadow Monarchs. And also, and this was actually I forgot to mention, this is a 41 card deck, and this actually became card number 41, which is Vanity's Ruler, and his idea was running a Vanity's Fiend. The fact that we're running both these Vanities cards, minus Emptiness, lol, it was actually his idea, as I said before. But given that he was having a little bit of trouble bringing them out and, you know, pulling them off, making them work, we decided to go with the Monarch engine, since he loved using Caius, and because Caius is really good, and the fact that we're going to be getting the Mega Monarch version of him coming out relatively soon, it seemed like the best opportunity, and the best timing, obviously, to start using these Vanities cards. And he's really enjoying them. And they didn't cost much either. In fact, they're so good. He seems to be, like, you know, focusing more on them rather than Neosphere. So don't be surprised if we do another deck profile without Neosphere. Alright, we're also running 2 Gores, because there are times, like I said, when it doesn't have, you know, a Neosphere cannot be brought out, given the fact that it does have a empty field sometimes, or the fact that some of these fiends can't be destroyed by battle or by card effects. And with the most clearest of opportunities, Gores is usually right there. Alright, next, I got some of these cards mixed up over here. We're also running 3 Giant Germs, because, you know, 3 is the necessity. 1 Chaos Hunter, 3 Dark Resonators, because they can't be destroyed by battle. They're perfectly good for Monarch fodder. And 2 Archfiend Soldiers. Not always, you know, one of the best plays to go into first turn, but it still is a pretty good beater, and running 2 of is actually, you know, not bad. Sometimes it's, you know, fodder for something else. Speaking of beaters, we got a Giant Orc, Doom Caliber Knight, and 1 Knight Assailant. Alright, now that we're wrapping up the monsters here, moving on to the spells, because this deck does not really special summon as much, if anything, on, you know, during his turn. That's why he decided to run 3 Pot of Dualities. And for the Monarchs, of course, 2 the Monarch Stormfronts. This was his idea, running 1 Solidarity, but I decided to pitch in a little something since it seemed that he needed, you know, 1 more. But given the fact that we were out at the time, and he's also running the Vanity's Ruler, it's gonna contradict Solidarity. So we're running 1 Archfiend Palabyrinth. A lot of his low-level monsters that can be normal summon, like the Dark Resonator, the Archfiend Soldier to an extent, and even Giant Orc, they can be pretty weak at times given the monsters this format. So they could use a little bit of an attack boost. given the fact that there is no, extra deck. And in order to protect those guys, we're still running 3 MSTs, 1 Dark Hole, and fodder for Archfiend Soldier, which is 1 Allure of Darkness. Alright, that's it for the spells. Moving on to the traps. Alright, like I said, no special summoning during his turn, but usually during the opponent's turn, which is why he's running 2 Call the Haunteds, 2 Fiendish Chains, although I did suggest using a Breakthrough skill. He's thought about it, but so far Fiendish Chain is doing okay, because sometimes, not only do you need to negate those effects, but you also need to stop the opponent from attacking. Speaking of prevention of attacking, we got 2 Deep Prisons, 1 Bottomless, Compulse, and Torrential. Alright, that just about does it for this deck profile. Thanks for watching. If you guys have any suggestions for this deck, I'm sure he'll be more than happy to hear your suggestions as well. And we're going to end the video, as always, with the big boss himself. So, once again, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Lights out.